Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm going to showcase something a little more fun since rank did reset and I might as well just troll around for a bit before I do some serious showcase. Of course next week there should be a ban list being implemented, which of course will give me access to 2 launchers and whatever else they will release that day. But for now I might as well just have fun with stuff. So I'm going to showcase some Zark nonsense on ladder in gold, might as well, just for the memes. And it's gonna be a Zark turbo. As many Zark as I can summon during their turn or during my turn or whatever happens, right? But anyway, let's begin. Alright, so this first match is pretty hilarious. This is my first test run of the deck I was trying out, and I'm going second against heroes. So I was like, oh gosh, please don't have Dark Claw and all that, because there's no way I can answer to that. But by the end of their turn, I believe it wasn't one of those hero decks, it was a fun, weird version. So I drew Super Poly. I didn't need to use Super Poly because they'd have no interruptions, but I used it anyway. So it just fused off both of them. Made Dragospellia, and then pretty much went into control mode with Trap Tricks. And passed. Alright, increase just goes back to the spell and trap zone. And it passed. So I Trap Tricks, of course, search my soul of the Supreme King. And then I drew Eradicator. So soul is gonna give me Zark, of course, they're gonna maxi. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not really special summoning any much with this hand anyway. So soul, here comes my Yugioh. And then I just went for battle. And then I basically floodgated them. Because Sky Iris is going to pop my Zark, and Zark goes into scale. And now all their fusions are basically null and void until they're in the graveyard. They call by, which is kind of pointless. And I think that's about it. Yeah, they add a card, I pop with that card. So I think it was just pretty much game at this point, yeah. On to the next game! So I kept losing quite a bit with that troll version, so I decided to just do my own thing. And Turbo Zark another way, through of course my usual setup. So Joker is going to search me Ange, I scale both Ange and Gentru. Now Gentru is going to add me an Odd Eyes card, and I search of course Butler. Butler's effect is going to activate and I pop Gentru, which will then allow Gentru to search as scales. I search Pensork for follow-up, so Electromite, right? And I know they don't have anything to disrupt me, so of course I Electromite pop the Sork, add the other Sork. Sork is going to add me Gentru, and Electromite is going to draw. So of course I've sold the Supreme King hand, but I'm playing literally like 6 copies of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I had it in hand or not, as long as I drew it off of Electromite, which of course I don't. I think. Yeah, I don't. So Gentru back in scale, and then I believe I made Beyond the Pendulum for another search. So here I decided to search Ange instead of searching just for another body on field, which I should have done instead. So I saw it plays, that's fine. My end board's not going to be as heavy, but still good enough. So of course Pensork is going to pop both scales to search me 2 more Odd Eyes names. Odd Eyes Synchron and Dissolver. Then I scale my Arc, and here I use Ange's effect to discard both to draw 2, and I do Necrofusion. Cool. So here I decided to go for Absolute. Absolute is going to get fusion off with Synchron in hand to make Vortex, and then Absolute is going to summon Meteor Burst. So then I realized, while I do have Meteor Burst, I don't have the materials ready to go for Necrofusion. I was like, oh shoot, what do I do? So I just made Afi Masquerena and then just set 2 pass. And Cyber Emergency, so I Afi Masquerena into Appaloosa. They're playing Cyber Dragons. So I sold the Supreme King, hoping they had another spell and get some stuff into the graveyard, but eventually they don't. And I negated the Galaxy when I shouldn't have. And they did that. They acted another galaxy. Well, it's the same galaxy. Yeah, which I should not have negated, but it is what it is. Galaxy's effect again. I had to negate it here because I don't want them going into Nova Infinity. I'll take whatever punishment they're going to do after that point. So they vertate. Vertate makes, of course, their Rampage. And then Rampage pops both scales, and scale and my trap. Use Necrofusion to get out the Starving's Venom. And they basically just went for battle here. So I survived and basically won at that point. Because they have no more Sword of Disruptions. So of course I drew Pensork that I returned. Starving is going to copy my Electromite and just going back into scale. I of course scale Pensork. I activate the copy pop and then add back Arc, which will then allow me to draw, of course. And they ashed it, but I know they have nothing else, so I just negate it with the Vortex. And just pen summon from here. So this game was kind of hilarious on my end. It's the same strat. I'm going second, of course, and they set 2 and set 1 path. So set 2 trap or something, and then 1 monster set. And I drew Soul. So Valid, it's of course going to try and mill, but they ashed it. I was like, okay, sure, that's fine. So I just went Gen True Butler combo, right? So link both off to make Electromite. Electromite is going to search Astral, hoping they don't have anything to disrupt this, but they had an Inburn. So at that point I was like, ah, shoot. Okay, go to battle, see what they have, and what they're playing, right? It's this card. So this card basically prevents my Electromite from activating its effect while it's in the extra monster zone. They just set 3 path. Of course I activate Soul. Soul is gonna give me Yugioh. And now I'm just banking on them having a spell of some kind so I can get 4 dragons out for free. But they pass! I was like, shoot. Okay, so I just activate Trap Trick to search for another Soul of the Supreme King. And then I drew. I drew a high scale. Sweet. So I, of course, scale the Arc and then pen from here. The annoying thing about this card is it's a floating effect, so I should have dealt with that effect and just kept comboing as best I could. But of course, yeah, I didn't. I just went for battle because I forgot about that. And I should have also used the other soul for the 4K at least, but I used it after the battle phase, so I summoned another Z-Arc and then try to combo from here when I should have done that a little earlier, to be quite honest. Because I had game, technically speaking, I did so, like summoning Starring Venom to do piercing damage, of course, but yeah, it is what it is. So here I copied, of course, Electromite, popped this, activated the Arc and scale to summon other Odd Eyes. Right. Also in this duel, I decided to play only 2 Z-Arc, but if I had a third one, I would have blown up his entire field. Because I was going for that play, where I did Odd Eyes, Synchron, of course. Odd Eyes summons the Odd Eyes Butler. This will make the 7, which is of course a Meteor Burst. Meteor Burst is going to give me the Arc and Scale, and then I exceed both off into Absolute, and then Absolute is going to get linked off with my star, because that's basically all the materials necessary for Necrofusion. So IP Masquerena, then Absolute's effect will summon my Valid. Valid's going to mill. I mill, of course, Ange. Ange is going to be my follow-up scale. And I would have Zark if not for the fact that I've only been playing 2 in this version, during this game. But now I know they're playing Dinomorphia. I was like, gosh, dude, okay, I gotta be careful what I negate then. And they had a Super Poly, which is really weird for a Dinomorphia player. Alright, Super Poly away then. So they Super Poly my IP Masquerena, my Z-Arc, and their Dark for this card. Like, alright, sure. And they of course set the frenzy. And I have to negate this because I believe it's gonna summon something I don't want to deal with, of course. But yeah. So of course I go to battle phase, pop my Electromite. Oh my gosh, my life point's really low. I should be a Dynamorphia player. So I draw, of course, see what I open with. Oh, Joker, sweet. So Joker is going to search. I think I searched. They active frenzy, I have to negate that. I don't want to deal with the annoying Dino-Rex. And I search Arc. Alright, then I link both off to make Beyond the Pendulum. Of course I don't have life points to pay, so they of course pop. Alright, that's fine by me. No matter, so Arc, I pen summon my Sork, I pop both Ange and Vortex. Now Arc is going to activate and it's going to resummon my Vortex to return the Predaplant back to the extra deck, and that's pretty much game. Now I wish I used Necrofusion to summon Zark per game, but it is what it is. I only was playing 2 during this game. So this game, I kind of laughed quite a bit. So I opened triple souls and I went first. If you can guess what I'm facing against, oh, it was really hilarious. So I set 3 souls and passed. I activated 1 soul to summon my first Z-Arc in defense, and onto them. And I found out I was a Runic player. I was like, ah. So they activated my second soul, so I summoned my second Z-Arc. And this is where it gets a little funny. So I'm waiting for them to activate their other spells so I can use the graveyard effect of souls. So they activate, I believe, something to special summon. So they use this to special summon, and I chain it, of course, to summon the one card that prevents them from searching. Because all the Runic fusions have 0 attacks. So Brave Eyes basically shuts down Hugin from searching their field spell. I was like, okay. So of course Hugin's effect is negated thanks to Brave Eyes. I didn't need to do anything here. So they discard as cost, not knowing. And yeah, they set 2 pass with 4 freaking dragons, of course, with this third ZR coming. So I obviously summon Valet. Valet's gonna mill, and they oh my god, they Rivalry of Warlords, which does nothing to me, honestly, because I have 4 giant dragons. I'm like, okay. And they I was gonna summon my third ZR, like, come on, for game. Like, alright. Now onto the deck list. So my deck list, it's kind of hilarious. What I had prior were a bunch of weird stuff going on. So for example, I had these cards. I was of course playing 1 Sork, 1 Chrono, triple Zark, triple Soul, 1 Rage, triple of each of the gates, and then a bunch of random stuff. So I was testing that out early on, but I didn't like it because it was really weird. So I decided just do what I usually do and hope I open with, say, like Trap Tricks and Soul, because that's what happened in the other version anyways. I wanted more combo heavy. But anyway, onto the stuff. Playing triple Arc Pendulum Dragon, double Valets, 1 Synchron, double Lady Ange, just 1 Pensork, triple Jokers, double Dark Worms, 1 Curtain Raiser, triple Gentrues, triple Butlers, 1 Astrograph Sorcerer, 1 of each of the gates, so 1 Gate 0 and 1 Gate Infinity, 1 Dissolver, triple Revolution, 1 Foolish, and 1 Shrine. Both targets are for Dark Worm, and if you just open Burial and as well as Shrine, you can mill Butler and Dark Worm, and they both will pop off, right? Double Sky Iris, the double Necrofusion. You need at least 2, just 2 minimum, for Trap Tricks. So you can search this as long as you set up the combo, of course. Triple Trap Tricks, it will search either your Necrofusion or your Soul of the Supreme King. And the combo line in this version is you're basically trying to turbo out the materials for Zark if you're going for Necrofusion, right? So Meteor Burst, Absolutes, 1 other fusion, whether it's Starving Venom, Supreme King, or Vortex, it does not matter. and then one of the Odd Eyes names, specifically either Pendulum or Revolution, and a Necrofusion would just fuse all that off to summon Zark on their turn, blowing up their entire field, right? As well as having another Soul to summon your other Zark, or if they activate a spell, to turbo out the other dragons, which is hilarious for the most part. But that's basically a endborn you try to go for. So onto the extra deck. Vortex, just one Brave Eyes for Soul target, one Supreme King Dragon starring Venom. It's only limited to one, sadly. Triple Z Arc. Your Necrofusion, your triple Soul, just triple Z Arc. One Meteor Burst is your Synchron target. Your Crystal Clearwing, you can play either Crystal Clearwing or the other one, does not matter. I personally prefer this one because it has protection for itself and it's harder to get over, as well as, of course, negating spells and traps, which I prefer since I'm playing Appaloosa anyway. So one is enough. Dark Rebellion is just a soul target as well as materials necessary for follow-up if you need to. One Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon to turbo out Meteor Burst and or another Odd Eyes name. The one Heavy Metaphors, not much to say there. The one IP Masquerena, the one Beyond the Pendulum, the one Celine, and then the one Appaloosa. The IP Masquerena is there to, if you already set up enough, so for example your end board, you open it will be Appaloosa Vortex with IP Masquerena, or rather Vortex IP Masquerena plus a low scale, for example, or a high scale like Celine. And if you use Vortex effect, you can just use IP Masquerena to get rid of it, and then this will basically give Necrofusion access to the required materials for Zark, as long as you set up the other stuff. So of course Meteor Burst, the Odd Eyes Absolute, and what else? And then the one Odd Eyes Pendulum or Revolution. They both work, right? But that's only if scenario, as you saw in my prior showcase. And yeah, this was fun. Don't build this. It's a troll deck. It's just for fun. I had fun with it. Had some good laughs. But yeah, anyway, take care. And yeah, bye everyone.